So, you've got an Apple Watch, right? And you probably use it for texts, checking the time, maybe tracking a workout. But what if I told you that's only like 10% of what it can actually do? Well, today we're going to unlock that other 90%. We're going to turn that thing on your wrist from just a watch into a tool that can genuinely make your life better.
No, seriously. Think about it for a second. Is your watch just a fancy pager for your phone? It is so easy to fall into that trap, I get it. But we're not doing that anymore. We're about to unlock its hidden potential and transform it from a screen you just look at into a tool you actually use.
All right, so where do we start? The very first step is making this thing truly yours. We're going to build a personal command center right on your wrist, tailored to exactly what you care about. And it all starts with the most valuable screen you own.
Yeah, that's right, your watch face. It is way more than just a pretty background. I want you to think of it as prime real estate, a personal dashboard for your life. We're going to put every single pixel to work so you can see what matters most, all in a single glance.
And this is how we do it. This is how we supercharge that real estate. Apple's own apps are fine, but third-party apps or complications, that's where the magic really happens. Just imagine looking down and seeing your to-do list from Things 3, or getting a hilarious, snarky weather update from Carrot, or tracking a new habit with Streaks, all without opening a single app. Each one of these turns your watch from a clock into a real-life management tool.
And the best part, setting all this up is actually super easy. You just pop into the Watch app, pick a face, and start adding your complications. And with the newer software, you also have the Smart Stack. You just swipe up from the bottom. The real key here is to pin the widgets you use the most, so they're always right there at the top waiting for you. Okay, so convenience is one thing, but the watch's power goes way, way beyond that. It's also working quietly in the background as a guardian for your health. And for some people, this has been, and I mean this, literally life-saving.
And look, this isn't some marketing story from Apple. This is a real quote from a Reddit user whose watch just started blasting high heart rate alerts while they were taking a nap. They just felt a little tired, but the watch knew something was critically wrong. Turns out it was severe internal bleeding. Their doctors told them that without that alert, they probably wouldn't have woken up. That is the power of the sensors that you are wearing right now.
So what are these sensors actually doing? Well, the ECG app is one of the most powerful. It lets you take an electrocardiogram, that's a measurement of your heart's electrical signals, just by holding your finger on the digital crown. It's specifically looking for signs of atrial fibrillation, or AFib, a heart condition that can lead to really serious issues if you don't catch it.
And then you've got the blood oxygen app. This gives you another vital snapshot of your health. It measures the oxygen saturation in your blood, which is a key indicator of how well your lungs and your whole respiratory system are working. If that number gets low, it can be a sign of a problem, giving you a heads up to go talk to your doctor.
And the monitoring doesn't stop there. Oh no, the watch is also tracking your sleep stages. It's using the new Vitals app to look for any weird changes in your baseline health while you sleep. It automatically times you for 20 seconds when you wash your hands, and it even listens to the noise around you to warn you about potential hearing damage. These are tools working for you, 24/7. All right, so we've got our physical health covered, but what about our mental health? Our focus? It sounds kind of backwards, I know, but your Apple Watch can actually be an incredible tool to reduce distractions and help you reclaim your focus from your phone.
The trick is to completely flip the script. Instead of being just another distraction, your watch becomes your ultimate bouncer, your ultimate filter. A quick glance at your wrist tells you if a notification is actually urgent. If it's not, you just dismiss it and you never pull out your phone, which means you avoid falling into that black hole of social media and email.
You ready for a real power user move? This is a game changer. You can link specific minimal watch faces to your iPhone's focus modes. So let's say when your work focus turns on, your watch face automatically switches to one with only work-related stuff on it. Then, when you're done for the day, it switches right back. It's such a smart way to create digital boundaries for yourself. And you know what else? The watch is just amazing for all those little hands-free moments in life. Like one user pointed out, it's an incredible cooking assistant. You could be handling raw meat and just say, hey Siri, set a steak timer for 10 minutes and a veggie timer for 5 minutes. You don't have to stop, wash your hands, and grab your phone. You just talk to your wrist. Okay, so we've mastered the everyday. Now let's push the limits. For everyone out there with an Apple Watch Ultra, this device really transforms from a life tool into a serious piece of adventure gear with some capabilities that are, well, they're pretty surprising.
Let's start underwater. With an app called Oceanic Plus, the Ultra becomes a full-fledged recreational dive computer, and that's amazing for dives down to about 40 meters. But, and this is super important to understand, this is not for technical diving. Tech diving involves much deeper dives and mixed gases, and the watch just isn't built for that.
Now, for adventurers back on land, there's this incredible feature called Backtrack. Let's say you're out on a hike. You just open the Compass app and tap this little icon. From that moment on, the watch uses GPS to drop digital breadcrumbs. If you get turned around, you just tell it to retrace your steps, and it guides you, step by step, right back to where you started. It's a brilliantly smart safety feature.
Okay, we've seen all this incredible potential, but to be a truly smart user, we need a little dose of reality. No device is perfect, so let's take a look at the limitations and understand where the data is solid and where it's a little less so.
So let's talk accuracy. A huge analysis of dozens of studies found the Apple Watch is really accurate for heart rate. We're talking only about a 4% error. Step counts are also pretty solid. But then look at calories burned, a nearly 28% error rate. So the takeaway is crystal clear. Trust your heart rate for training, but take those calorie counts with a massive grain of salt.
And then there's the big one, the Achilles heel of almost every smartwatch. Battery life. Even on the top-of-the-line Ultra, you're realistically looking at about 36 hours of normal use. And while that's actually great for a smartwatch, it's a serious thing to consider for multi-day hikes or dive trips. You absolutely have to plan ahead.
But you're not helpless here. You can be strategic. Apple itself gives these tips to squeeze the most out of your charge. Using low power mode, especially overnight or during a long workout, is a huge help. And a simple trick, like turning off the Wake on Wrist Race feature if you talk with your hands a lot, can save a surprising amount of juice.
So let's just wrap up this reality check with the most important point of all. Think of your watch as an incredibly helpful guide. It motivates you, it informs you, it keeps you connected. But it is not a perfect medical diagnostic tool. Its data is the start of a conversation, not the final verdict.
And that brings us full circle. We've seen how your Apple Watch can be so much more than just a timepiece. It's a personalized tool for your health, for your focus, and even for your wildest adventures. All of that power is just waiting for you, right there on your wrist. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Now that you know its secrets, what's the first new feature you're going to try out today? Thanks for tuning in.